He married a ghost for money. A poor man became rich overnight after marrying a ghost. Stay with me as I tell this crazy story. Make sure you're subscribed to keep getting stories like this. Ode had always felt like life skipped his name. Some people were born into families that helped them, some people were born with talent that opened doors, some people were born with luck that followed them like a shadow. Ode had none of those things. From childhood, life had treated him like an afterthought. He grew up in a noisy part of the city where houses were packed together and walls were stained by years of dust and rain. The streets were always busy, but money never stayed long in anyone's pocket. People worked hard there, yet suffering still found them easily. Ade's family was poor, but not the poorest. That made it worse. They were poor enough to suffer, but not poor enough for people to pity them. His father was a tailor who once had dreams of owning a big shop. His mother sold food by the roadside. Together, they tried their best, but their best was never enough. School fees were always late. Rent was always a problem. Food was measured carefully. Ode learned early that life did not care how hard you tried. When he finished secondary school, hope filled his chest. He believed adulthood would be better. He believed effort would finally be rewarded. He was wrong. Ode tried everything. He worked as a shop assistant, standing all day and smiling until his face hurt. The owner promised him a raise next month, for over a year. One morning, the shop was locked. That was how the job ended. He learned a trade. Customers came at first, then stopped. Another man opened a bigger shop nearby, and Ode became invisible again. He joined a small business with friends. One partner disappeared with the money. The rest argued and blamed fate. Every time Ode thought he had found his way, the road collapsed under his feet. It became a pattern. Try, hope, fail. Opportunities passed him by like buses he could not afford to board. He watched people who were less serious succeed. He watched people who arrived after him rise faster. He watched doors open for others and close in his face. People noticed. They did not say it loudly, but Ode heard it in their tone. That boy tries, but nothing works for him. Maybe his destiny is blocked. Some people are just unlucky. Those words followed him home every night. Ode lived alone in a small room with cracked walls and a thin mattress. At night, when the city noise softened, his thoughts became loud. Hunger sat with him. Shame spoke to him. Loneliness kept him awake. He tried love too. That hurt the most. Ode was not arrogant when he approached women. He spoke with respect. He told the truth. I don't have much yet, he would say. But I am serious about life. Some women smiled politely. Others laughed. One woman told him directly, I don't want to suffer. Another said, you're nice, but you're not my type. Some did not even let him finish talking. Ode learned the truth slowly and painfully. Love was expensive. And poverty was unattractive. After many rejections, he stopped trying. At weddings, when people asked him, when is your turn, he laughed like it did not hurt. Inside, it cut deep. He was in his early 30s, but life had already tired him. He prayed. At first, he prayed with hope, later, with anger. Eventually, he stopped. Not because he did not believe, but because believing had become painful. One evening, after another useless day, Ode sat alone in his room and counted his money. He counted it 3 times, hoping it would somehow increase. It did not. It was not enough for food, not enough for rent, not enough for dignity. Ode laughed quietly, a broken sound. So this is it, he whispered. That night, something inside him hardened. Not anger, not sadness. Acceptance. Ode accepted that life had moved on without him. Days passed. Then weeks. One afternoon, Ode met an old friend who now drove a fine car. The man spoke loudly about success, connections, and opportunities. Your time will come, the friend said confidently. Ode smiled. He had heard that sentence too many times. That evening, Ode decided to walk home instead of taking transport. He needed space. The city was loud, but his mind was louder. That was when he saw her. She stood by the roadside, not in a rush, not distracted. She was not shouting for attention. She was not trying to impress anyone. Yet Ode stopped walking. She was beautiful in a calm way. Not the loud beauty that demanded notice. Her face was soft. Her eyes were deep. She stood with quiet confidence, like someone who was not afraid of life. She looked at him and smiled. Ode froze. That almost never happened. He looked behind him, thinking she was smiling at someone else. There was no one. She walked closer. "Good evening," she said. Her voice was gentle. Ode cleared his throat. "Good evening. You look tired," she said. Those words surprised him. Most people did not see him at all. "Life," he replied. She nodded slowly, like she understood. "My name is Esther," she said. "Ode," he replied. They stood there for a moment. Silence hung between them, but it was comfortable. Easy. "I was hoping you would stop," Esther said. Ode frowned. "Me?" "Yes." They began to talk. Not about money, not about success. Just life. She listened. Truly listened. When Ode spoke, she did not interrupt. She laughed at his jokes, even the dry ones. Time passed without Ode noticing. When it grew late, Esther said, "I should go." Ode felt something he had not felt in a long time. Disappointment. "Can I see you again?" he asked before fear could stop him. She smiled. "You will," she said. Then she walked away. Ode stood there long after she was gone. That night, he slept deeply. The next day, something strange happened. Ode received a call. Then another. Someone who had ignored him suddenly returned his messages. A small opportunity opened. Then another. Ode noticed, but did not question it. Then Esther appeared again. Always calm, always alone, always in quiet places. They began to see each other often. They started dating. Ode fell fast. Esther made him feel seen. Valued. Like he mattered. And slowly, very slowly, Ade's life began to change. Money stayed longer in his pocket, opportunities returned his calls, doors that were once locked began to open. Ode did not know why. He only knew one thing. For the first time in his life, luck had finally looked his way. And her name was Esther. Ode did not believe in miracles. Life had trained him too well for that. So when things began to change, he told himself it was coincidence. Small luck. A temporary break that would soon disappear, just like all the others before it. But the changes did not disappear. They grew. At first, it was small things. The kind of things people usually ignored. Ode noticed that his phone no longer stayed silent for days. Messages he sent were answered quickly. Calls were returned. People who once acted too busy suddenly remembered his name. One afternoon, a man Ode had worked with years ago called him. "Ode, how are you?" the man asked warmly. "I'm fine," Ode replied, surprised. "It's been a long time." Yes, the man said. "I just remembered you. I have a small job. Nothing big, but it pays." Ode accepted immediately. When he finished the job, the man paid him without delay. No stories. No excuses. Ode held the money in his hand and stared at it. It was not much, but it felt different. For once, money did not come with stress. He bought food that night without calculating every spoon. He slept without fear of tomorrow. Then another opportunity came. And another. Within weeks, Ode noticed something strange. He was no longer chasing life. Life was coming to him. The fear that usually lived in his chest slowly loosened its grip. His shoulders felt lighter. His steps became faster. And through all of this, Esther was there. They met often, but always quietly. Never in crowded places. Never where people gathered. Sometimes they sat under a tree in a quiet street. Sometimes they walked in empty areas as the sun went down. Sometimes they sat inside a small room, talking for hours. Esther never complained. She never asked for money, never asked for gifts, never asked for proof. She only asked for time. And she gave him attention in return. She asked about his childhood, about his dreams, about the things that scared him. When Ode spoke, she listened like his words mattered. That alone felt like wealth. Ode began to notice how calm she always was. No rush. No panic. No worry about the future. One evening, as they sat together, Ode asked, "Don't you ever get tired of life?" Esther smiled softly. Life only becomes heavy when you fight it. Those words stayed with him. As weeks turned into months, Aid's life changed faster. He got a better job through someone who just thought of him. The pay was good. Then it increased without him begging. He started a small side business. Customers came without advertisement. People paid on time. For the first time, Ode saved money. Real savings. He moved out of his tiny room into a better apartment. When he paid the rent, his hands did not shake. People noticed the change. His neighbors greeted him with respect, old friends suddenly wanted to reconnect, relatives who once avoided him now called often. "You are looking good," people said, "you have added weight," others joked, "Life is smiling at you," someone said. Ode smiled, but inside, he was confused. Why now? What had changed? The only difference he could see was Esther. Yet there were things about her that disturbed him. Little things at first. Things he tried to ignore. Esther never wanted to meet his friends. Whenever Ode suggested it, she smiled and changed the topic. Another time, she would say, "They won't understand us yet." She never attended family events. Weddings. Birthdays. Funerals. Always an excuse. "I'm not feeling well. I don't like noise. I prefer peace." At first, Ode thought she was just shy. Then he noticed something else. No one ever mentioned her. When Ode talked about her, people nodded politely but never asked questions. One day, his friend Connor said, "You talk about this Esther a lot. When will you introduce her?" Ode laughed. Soon. But soon never came. Esther also refused pictures. Every time Ode tried to take a photo together, she gently pushed the phone away. "I don't like pictures," she said. "But everyone takes pictures," Ode replied. "I don't," she answered simply. She also had no pictures of herself. No childhood photos.no, old memories.no, family pictures. Ode found it strange, but fear stopped him from pressing too hard. Deep down, he was afraid. Afraid that asking too many questions would break the happiness he had waited for all his life. Still, doubt slowly grew. One evening, Ode decided to confront her gently. They were sitting together in silence when he spoke. "Esther," he said, "can I ask you something?" She turned to him calmly. "Of course." "Why don't you ever want to be seen with me in public?" he asked. She looked at him for a long moment. "Does it bother you?" she asked. "Yes," Ode admitted. "I feel like I'm hiding you. Or you're hiding me." Esther sighed softly. "Some relationships are not meant for public eyes," she said. "That doesn't make sense," Ode replied. "People who love each other show it." Esther smiled sadly. "Not all love follows the same rules." Her answer did not satisfy him. Another day, Ode tried again. "Do you have family?" he asked casually. "Yes," Esther replied. "Can I meet them someday?" She shook her head. "That won't be possible." "Why?" "They are not around." The answers always felt incomplete. Yet every time Ode thought of walking away, fear grabbed him. Fear of losing everything. Fear of returning to hunger, fear of returning to being invisible. One night, Ode lay awake and stared at the ceiling. He had more money than ever, more respect, more comfort. But peace was beginning to slip away. He felt like he was standing on something beautiful that might collapse at any moment. The next morning, Ode decided he needed the truth. That evening, when Esther came, Ode did not smile. She noticed immediately. "What's wrong?" she asked. Ode took a deep breath. "I need honesty," he said. "Real honesty." Esther studied his face. "Ask," she said. Ade's heart pounded. "Why does no one ever see you?" he asked. "Why don't you exist anywhere except with me?" Silence filled the room. Esther stood up slowly. She walked closer to him. "Ode," she said gently, "are you sure you want the answer?" Ode swallowed. "Yes." Esther's eyes softened. Then she said the words that shattered everything Ode thought he knew. "I am not like other women." Ode frowned. "What does that mean?" She took another step closer. "I am not human." Ode laughed. The sound came out sharp and nervous. "That's not funny," he said. "I'm not joking," Esther replied. Ode shook his head. "Stop." "I am a ghost," she said calmly. The room felt cold. Ode stood up suddenly. "This is madness," he said. "You think this is funny?" Esther did not react. "You are the only one who can see me," she continued. "The only one who can touch me. The only one I chose." Ode backed away. "No," he whispered. "No, no, no. Everything that changed in your life," Esther said, "changed because I entered it." Ade's breathing became fast. "You're lying," he said. "This is a trick." "If I leave," Esther continued, "everything you gained will leave with me." That was when fear truly entered Ade's heart. He remembered the doors opening, the money, the sudden favor. "What do you want from me?" he asked weakly. Esther looked at him with something that looked like love. "I want you," she said. "The way you want life." Ode shook his head violently. "I can't do this," he said. "I don't want to see you again." Esther nodded slowly. "That is your choice," she said. "But remember, poverty will follow me when I go." Ade's knees felt weak. That night, he sat alone in his room. Esther was gone. The silence was heavy. Ode looked around at his new life and wondered how much of it was real and how much of it was about to disappear. The room felt different without Esther. Not empty. Heavy. Ode sat on the edge of his bed, elbows on his knees, staring at the floor. The silence pressed against his ears like thick cotton. He kept expecting her voice, calm and steady, to break it. But she did not return. That night, Ode did not sleep. He waited for something bad to happen. For his phone to stop ringing, for money alerts to reverse, for the sudden favor he had enjoyed to disappear like smoke. Morning came slowly. Ode woke up tired, his eyes burning. The first thing he did was check his phone. Messages were still there, money was still there, nothing had vanished. For a brief moment, relief washed over him. Then fear followed. Maybe it takes time, he thought. He went to work that day distracted. His mind replayed Esther's words again and again. "I am a ghost. If I leave, everything you gain will leave with me. I chose you." He laughed once, bitterly. Chosen. That evening, Ode tried to distract himself. He visited a friend. They talked, laughed, drank. But something felt off. His chest was tight, his thoughts were scattered. When he returned home, Esther was there. She stood near the window, looking calm, like nothing had happened. Ode froze. "Why are you here?" he asked sharply. "You didn't tell me to leave forever," Esther replied gently. "You only said you didn't want to see me again." Ode felt anger rise. "You lied to me," he said. You deceived me. I protected you, she replied. By turning my life into a lie? Ode asked. Esther turned to face him fully. Ode, she said softly, before me, what was your life? The question hit him like a slap. He did not answer. You were invisible, Esther continued. Ignored. Rejected. Hungry. Broken. Stop, Ode said. I did not create your suffering, she said. I ended it. Ade's hands shook. You're not human, he said. This is wrong. Esther walked closer. Is hunger right? She asked. Is rejection right? Is dying slowly while others live freely right? Ode had no answers. You prayed, Esther continued. You begged life to notice you. I did. Ode turned away. I don't want this anymore, he said quietly. I don't want you. Esther was silent for a moment. Then she spoke, calmly, clearly. If I go, she said, everything will return to how it was. Ode laughed bitterly. You keep saying that, he said. But I'm still fine. Esther nodded. For now. She raised her hand slightly. In seconds, Ade's phone rang. A business partner called, angry, canceling a deal. Another message came, a delay in payment, then another, a contract put on hold. Ade's chest tightened. Esther lowered her hand. This is only the beginning, she said. I can take everything back. Ode felt dizzy. He sat down heavily on the bed. Why? He asked weakly. Why are you doing this to me? Esther's voice softened. Because I don't want to lose you. Ode looked up sharply. You don't love me, he said. You're using me. Esther knelt in front of him, her face level with his. I am bound to you, she said. And you are bound to me. That is how it works. Tears filled Ade's eyes. I can't go back, he whispered. I can't be poor again. Esther's lips curved into a small smile. Then don't, she said. She took his hands. There is only one way, she continued. Marry me. Ode pulled his hands away. No, he said. That's madness. It is commitment, Esther replied. A bond. A promise. A promise to a ghost, Ode said. A promise to wealth, Esther corrected. She stood up. I can make you richer than you ever imagined, she said. Cars. Houses. Power. Respect. You will never beg again. Ade's heart pounded. And the cost, he asked. Esther looked at him steadily. You will be mine, she said. Completely. The room felt smaller. Ode thought of hunger, of rejection, of sleeping with fear, of watching others succeed while he failed. He thought of the way people now respected him, the way money no longer scared him, the way life finally listened. His voice shook. If I say yes, he asked, what happens? Esther smiled. Your life truly begins. That night, Ode agreed. There was no wedding hall, no guest, no music. Only Ode and Esther. The ceremony was quiet, strange, and private. Words were spoken that Ode did not fully understand. Promises were made that felt heavy in his mouth. When it ended, Esther smiled. It is done, she said. From that moment, Ade's life exploded. Money flowed like water. Not slowly, not carefully. Violently. Businesses grew overnight, investments doubled without effort, opportunities chased him. Ode bought cars, then houses, then land. He traveled. He wore expensive clothes, people bowed when he spoke. The same society that once ignored him now praised him. Ode is blessed, they said, his destiny has opened. God has finally remembered him. Ode smiled in public. At night, he felt hollow. Esther was always there. Watching, guiding, controlling. At first, it felt comforting. Then it began to feel tight. Women noticed Ode everywhere he went. Some tried to get close. Some flirted openly. But none stayed. One woman suddenly moved abroad, another lost interest overnight, another stopped answering calls. It happened again and again. Ode noticed the pattern. One evening, he confronted Esther. "Why does every woman leave?" he asked. Esther looked calm. "They are unnecessary," she said. "They are human," Ode replied. "I need human connection." "You have me," Esther said. "That's not the same," Ode snapped. Esther's eyes darkened. "I am the only woman you need," she said. "As long as I am here, no other woman will stay." Fear crawled up Ede's spine. "So this is my life?" he asked. "Alone with you forever?" Esther stepped closer. "Rich," she corrected. Ode stepped back. He looked around his expensive house. The things money had bought. The life he once begged for. And suddenly, it felt like a cage. A golden one. Ode understood then. Leaving Esther meant losing everything, staying with her meant losing himself. There was no good choice. Only an impossible one. And Ode knew. The decision he made next would decide whether he lived as a poor free man or a rich prisoner. The choice stood before him. And the night waited. If you want part 2 of this story, leave me a comment and make sure to subscribe.